presents to you the most unique show in sports.
I'm going to say something now that some may take as a hot take, and I don't really care because I know that I'm right.
A show so staggeringly awesome and unapologetically original, you won't know what hit you.
Do you ever just get down on your knees and thank God that you know me and have access to my dementia?
Featuring the man himself, Nick Kostos.
For anyone else says, oh, he's exaggerating, he's prisoner of the moment. First off, shut up. This is the National Football League. This is not the Big 12. It's not Pop Warner. An absolute disgrace. An atrocity. An affront. One of the most disgraceful performances that I have ever seen in 35 years watching National Football League football.
This is You Better You Bet, presented by BetMGM on Westwood One Sports.
What's up, everybody? Happy and merry, phenomenal Football Friday to you and yours. This is You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos on Westwood One Sports, as we bring you the fastest show in all of sports. The show presented today and always by BetMGM. Make it legendary by downloading the BetMGM app and visiting BetMGM.com. And on this Friday morning, the world of sports teeming with excitement. And we're going to get to all the big stories, including for the Baltimore Ravens, Minter is coming. Jesse Minter, the new head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, the former defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to tell everybody why I really like this hire for Baltimore and why I'm also concerned it's not going to work out for Jesse Minter in Baltimore. I will explain why coming up next hour here on the show. We also, over the course of the next 3 hours, we have a couple fun NBA topics to dig into from last night. How about Joel Embiid? A casual 32-point triple-double as the Sixers upset the Rockets last night in Philadelphia. I bet the Rockets in the game. Losing bet for yours truly. Embiid with the triple-double. We're going to have a conversation. Should we be putting the Philadelphia 76ers, if this is what Embiid's going to be, with the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Pistons atop a wide-open Eastern Conference? We will get into that. And I'm going to tell everybody why the Golden State Warriors need to tank for the rest of the season. Because what we saw last night from Golden State and from Draymond Green, absolutely disgraceful from Draymond. It's over for this era of the Warriors. Time to pull the plug. Time to tank. I'll tell you why in the final hour of the show. How about the guest list today on You Better You Bet? And just like in general, and you have to admit, you the listener, you the viewer, maybe you're new here to us on You Better You Bet on Westwood One Sports. Maybe you're watching the show on YouTube, youtube.com/@thekostos. Listening on the Odyssey app, on the Westwood One app. Listening on Sirius XM Channel 375, radio stations nationwide, watching the show on Twitch. You have to admit, the guests that we have on the show are spectacular, and today is no different. Joining us today to get you, dear listener, you, dear viewer, set to bet and enjoy Championship Sunday with all the juicy storylines. Westwood One and CBS Sports play-by-play man, Kevin Harlan. He'll be on the call coming up on Sunday of the Rams and the Seahawks on Westwood One. And Kevin's analyst for that game, Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner, will join us as well today on the show. Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, and our friend, pro sports bettor Rob Pizzola, with his best bets and handicaps for Championship Sunday in the National Football League, my bets for tonight, and side and total for the games on Championship Sunday. We'll close the show. I will give you my props on the Sunday editions of Countdown to Kickoff and my show on WFAN. The phone number to chime in, 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. Let's get this YouTube chat rolling, youtube.com/@thekostos. We will read your comments on YouTube throughout the show, so check it out at youtube.com/@thekostos. But we officially begin Phenomenal Football Friday edition of You Better You Bet with awe and excitement. Because we collectively, you the listener, you the viewer, me, Nick Kostos, we, together, we stand on the precipice of Championship Sunday in the National Football League. And if you, the person watching and listening to the show right now, I am guessing that you are like me in this regard because you're here right now with me and all of us together collectively. I'm guessing that you are like me, that you don't like sports. You love sports. And you don't like the National Football League. You love the National Football League. And if that's true, and I believe it is, then this Sunday, 2 days from now, oh yeah, it means something to you. Championship Sunday in the National Football League is a special day. One of the high holy days on the sports calendar. A day when history is made. A day when stories are told that will live throughout history. Legacies defined. Lore defined. This is what it's all about. And we can look at these four teams playing on Championship Sunday. And we can look at these four teams and the prism of Championship Sunday through these teams and their experiences on Championship Sunday and get a window into how important it is and a window into what it means and why this day is so special and so meaningful. And we could start with the New England Patriots, who have played in 1 billion AFC Championship games. Obviously, the vast majority started by Tom Brady, but we can go back in time. We don't have to start with Tom Brady in 2001, beating Cordell Stewart, Bill Cowher and the Pittsburgh Steelers, Troy Brown punt return touchdown. Drew Bledsoe's got to come in to win the game. No. We can go back to 1985 with the Patriots and the Dolphins in Miami, with the favored Dolphins in that game. Miami having beaten the Chicago Bears earlier that season on a famous Monday Night Football game. And the world felt that we were headed for Dolphins-Bears Part 2, and the Patriots said, no. Go into Miami and win that game, 31-14. Get waxed in the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 20 against Chicago, but forever altering the course of football history. As Dan Marino denied a second consecutive Super Bowl appearance, he would never get back to the big game after losing to the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl 19. 0-1, we referenced it. Brady starts the game and everyone forgets Drew Bledsoe had to finish it and lead the Patriots to victory. And I remember telling my dad, leading up to that Super Bowl with the Patriots and the Rams, a.k.a. the Spygate Super Bowl, I remember saying to my late father, I think Bill Belichick's got to start Drew Bledsoe in the game. It's the start of a life of bad predictions by yours truly in the National Football League. We can go to Deflategate against Andrew Luck and the Colts with the Patriots and LeGarrette Blount smoking. See what I did there? The Indianapolis Colts. The comeback against Jacksonville in 2017. Miles Jack, was it or not a legal play? So many great championship Sundays as a result of the New England Patriots. And then we go to New England's opponent, the Denver Broncos, and the illustrious history of this team on Championship Sunday. And we can fast forward to the John Elway era, 1986, with Mike Shanahan calling the plays on offense and Dan Reeves as the head coach. The drive, 98 yards against the Cleveland Browns for the Denver Broncos. We can go to the next year, the fumble at Mile High with Ernest Biner putting the ball on the grass and Denver advancing to another Super Bowl. Of course, the Broncos would lose 3 and 4 years. But yeah, they would get their lick back. They would get it back in 97, going to Pittsburgh and upsetting Bill Cowher, Cordell Stewart, and the Steelers, en route to the first Super Bowl championship in franchise history, the first one for John Elway. This one's for John. Trailing 10-0 in 98 to Bill Parcells, Vinny Testaverde, and the Jets before Richie Anderson put the ball on the ground and Denver scored 23 unanswered. En route to a second consecutive back-to-back Super Bowl win, that one over the Atlanta Falcons and their old head coach, Dan Reeves. And one of the best AFC championship games in modern history, 2015, at home as a dog against Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski and the New England Patriots. Denver emerging victorious on a failed late 2-point try by New England, 20-18, leading to a Broncos win in Super Bowl 50 over Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. How about the NFC with the Rams? 1999, en route to the Rams Super Bowl championship, the first in franchise history. People forget about this game, a pretty important game in the history of the league, as it turns out, with Kurt Warner hitting Ricky Prohl for the game winner as the Rams barely got by Tony Dungy and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in St. Louis, 11-6. That game was 6-5 towards the end of the game with the Rams and the Buccaneers. 2018, no call on an obvious defensive pass interference as the Rams go into New Orleans and beat Drew Brees and the Saints, denying us a Drew Brees v. Tom Brady Super Bowl because Bill Belichick and the Patriots would shove the Rams and Sean McVay and Jared Goff into a locker and win that Super Bowl 13-3. 2021, McVay v. Shanahan, Tart dropping an interception, and the Rams getting past San Francisco en route to beating the Bengals in Super Bowl 56. And then the Seattle Seahawks. 05, jubilation as Seattle beats Carolina to advance to the franchise's first Super Bowl. And back-to-back epic conference championship games in 13 against the 49ers with Richard Sherman and Michael Crabtree at the ends of that game against Colin Kaepernick, Jim Harbaugh, and San Francisco. And the next year against the Green Bay Packers with the huge comeback. The Brandon Bostic dropped onside kick. Russell Wilson to Jermaine Kearse in overtime as Seattle would advance to a second straight Super Bowl, losing that one to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. And just from a betting perspective, I had the Niners and the Packers both on the money line in 13 and 14. Both losers for yours truly. You bet on this Friday. Nick Kostos here with you on Westwood One Sports. We don't have to go any further than the 4 teams playing this Sunday to look at how great and how important, how meaningful, and how impactful Championship Sunday can be, and how it can shape the way that we view coaches and quarterbacks and teams and careers, and obviously, who can play for and win a world championship. Let's start with the AFC championship game. Another round in this rivalry, which really heated up, obviously, when Peyton Manning signed in Denver with the Broncos, between the Patriots and the Broncos. New England, as it stands right now at our show sponsor, BetMGM, a 4.5-point road favorite. The total in the game, 42.5. Let's talk injuries. It looks like, not confirmed, but the Broncos might have the services of running back J.K. Dobbins in this game. Remember J.K. Dobbins? Hasn't played in quite some time. And we all thought coming into the year, when the Broncos picked R.J. Harvey in the second round, that this was going to be R.J. Harvey's backfield, and Sean Payton said, nope, J.K. Dobbins is my lead running back. And we might have J.K. Dobbins back on the field for the Broncos on Sunday, a couple limited practices on Wednesday and Thursday. We will see what today's injury report has in store for J.K. Dobbins and the Denver Broncos. And it looks like the Patriots will have Carlton Davis ready to go in this game, clearing concussion protocol, has practiced a couple times. We will see what the final injury report has to hold. By the way, nice little coinky dink here. The Patriots with multiple players all clearing concussion protocol in time for critical playoff games. And this is not me conspiracy theorizing here. I don't blame them. I would do the same thing. And I'm not even insinuating there's any funny business going on. Just that it is a little interesting. And I don't mean that as a criticism. If I were them, I would do the same exact thing. And we can start the handicap of this game and the storylines for this game. There's only one place to start it, and it's with Denver starting quarterback Jarrett Stidham. With Bo Nix out due to injury. And you want to talk about insult after victory. We saw it on full display last Saturday after the Broncos beat the Buffalo Bills, and then Sean Payton an hour after the game. Oh, by the way, our starting quarterback's out for the year. So Jarrett Stidham steps in to start this game for the Denver Broncos, looking to become like Nick Foles in 2017 or Jeff Hostetler in 1990. Backup quarterbacks leading their team to glory. I loved the interview we had yesterday with the whale capper Drew Dinsick, NBC Sports betting analyst, who I think is correct in what he said about Sean Payton and the way Sean Payton's going to view this game. And we kind of know this because Sean Payton is a Bill Parcells disciple. And once upon a time, Bill Parcells coached the Giants to a Super Bowl 25 win with the backup quarterback in Jeff Hostetler. And got up prior to Championship Sunday on the road in San Francisco against the reigning defending two-time Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers and said, if we lose this game, it won't be because of Jeff Hostetler. And you know Sean Payton's relaying the same message to his team with Jarrett Stidham set to be the quarterback. I think you will see Sean Payton come out and call maybe the same game that he would have called with Bo Nix. And yes, you lose some of the stuff in the run game with Bo Nix because Jarrett Stidham is not the athlete that Bo Nix is with his legs. But I think you're going to see a similar game plan. I don't think the shackles will be on Jarrett Stidham. This is not the way Sean Payton coaches. Remember, in the Super Bowl against the Indianapolis Colts, how many coaches have the chutzpah, the gall, the grapefruits to call an onside kick coming out of halftime? Shout out to Hank Baskett. And the Saints recover the onside kick, and the rest, as they say, is history. Great championship Sunday that year, too, with the Saints beating Brett Favre and the Minnesota Vikings in overtime, 31-28. Sean Payton, he may go down in this game, and the Broncos may lose. But I don't think it's going to be because he's ultra-conservative in the way he calls this game. I do think the Broncos can have success on offense in this game. Does that mean I think they're scoring 35 points? No. Or Jarrett Stidham's throwing for 350 yards? I don't think that's going to be the case. But can Stidham play well enough to keep this game close? I think the answer is yes. And for the New England Patriots, what a turnaround. And I know it makes everybody around the country sick, unless you live in the New England area, that a long, hard 7 years have passed since the Patriots' last trip to Championship Sunday. And you can dislike it, and you can not want to see them win, and you can be annoyed that their fans get another generational quarterback perhaps here in Drake May, but you have to give this organization credit. And you have to give Bob Kraft, Robert Kraft, the owner of the team, credit for acknowledging the mistake with Gerard Mayo and firing Mayo after 1 year and hiring Mike Vrabel and bringing back Josh McDaniels to call the offense. Because while McDaniels might be a brutal head coach, and he is a tremendous offensive coordinator and play caller. So they got it right at head coach. They got it right with the offensive coordinator. They obviously got it right with the quarterback. And this offseason, with a ton of money to spend, and people say you can't build a winning team through free agency, the Patriots are kind of spitting on that notion right now. With the signing of Milton Williams, and here's Harold Landry, and Spillane, and Carlton Davis, and Stephon Diggs. Look at what they were able to do this offseason, the New England Patriots. It's an unbelievable job of team building and an organizational turnaround, and you have to give them credit, even if you don't want to. And now, Drake May has the opportunity to really step into the shoes once worn by the legendary, the GOAT, Tom Brady, and lead the Patriots to a Super Bowl in his second year in the NFL. And I think that's going to be what happens. Drake May is too damn good. And you know this if you've been watching or listening to the show for any period of time. And if you're new, thank you. Allow me to introduce myself if you're new to this. My name is Nick Kostos. And I've been telling you since last year that we love the Drake and that Drake May is an absolute stud. And when it comes down to it, the best young quarterback in the NFL, it's gonna be May. And look last week against the Houston Texans, one of the best defenses in the league. And yes, C.J. Stroud's terrible in the game, but Drake May makes a couple fantastic, and yeah, he put the ball on the ground a couple times. Looked like Dave Craig once upon a time for the Seattle Seahawks, putting the ball on the ground, but had a couple great throws to help win that game. The fourth down strike on the first drive to Pop Douglas, who races into the end zone. The strike to Stephon Diggs. How many quarterbacks can make that throw? Drake May is one of them. Even the great one-handed catch by Kayshon Booty, rocking everywhere, is a great throw by Drake May to beat Derek Stingley, just like May and Booty did the year before to beat Derek Stingley in Drake May's first NFL action in a Patriots-Texans game. So yes, the Broncos defense is really good. It is a good defense. You don't think Drake May can have success against this defense? I think we've already reached the point where you can make the case that Drake May is good enough to have success against any team and any defense. And to the people that want to say, well, Patriots haven't beaten anyone all season, lucky team. Yeah, you're right. They are extraordinarily lucky. They are. Also, Drake May is stupendous. And he'll be the difference in the game. I'm thinking Patriots 24, Broncos 20. Denver to cover the spread, Patriots to win the game, and we go over the total. And a tip of the cap from me to our friend, the whale capper, Drew Dinsick, because he talked about the over yesterday, and I absolutely loved his handicap. So if and when that bet wins, the glory to him. And if it loses, I will also blame him in true Nick Kostos fashion. I'm kidding. I make the bet with my own money, and I live with the consequences no matter what happens. So I do like the over in the game. I do think it will be a good AFC Championship game. But when it comes down to it, just like we saw in 2001 with Brady and New England going on the road and winning that AFC Championship game, I think Drake May and the Patriots go into Denver and win and advance to Super Bowl 60. We're just getting rolling here on a phenomenal Football Friday. Kevin Harlan still to come. Kurt Warner still to come. Pro Sports bettor Rob Pizzola still to come. But on the other side, my preview and storylines for the NFC Championship game with the Seahawks and the Rams in Seattle. You better you bet. Westwood One Sports with Nick Kostos on a Friday, presented by BetMGM.